Greeting my valued paper model builders and my great friends. In part 3, we will be doing the spinner, the engine exhaust, and the main wing. Let's begin. So now we're going to be doing the spinner assembly. Here is how I typically do it. We cut the parts out carefully, and as always, remember, MAREK kit, I would say, is one of the better kits to go with when you're starting to become a little more serious about paper modeling. It is simple enough and you can get some real positive results. So what I do is form the most difficult part first, add a bit of tacky glue, put it together, and like I always preach, get yourself a great pair of tweezers. So I form the 3 parts individually, and then I go for the centerpiece. The centerpiece here you see I'm applying glue to. I now add just a sheet of bond paper, right? Thin bond paper. Put glue at the base and then drop the base of the spinner over it. Pull it down into position. It'll basically snap there, and I use the tweezers to guide the joint. Then I put a little tacky glue at the top and then just add the tip of the spinner. And pretty much that's it. Carefully make sure all the parts stay in line. Put the base of the spinner on and secure in place with some super glue. Then we apply some tacky glue and add to the fuselage. And there we have it. Pretty decent. Awesome. Engine exhaust. So now we're going to be putting on the exhaust. At this scale, it can be a bit tedious, so here's what I do. I use the back of the knife to just make sure there is some bend in it. When I bend it over the ruler, steel ruler, and then I cut the parts out. Once I cut the parts, use a tweezer, have the bend, and then apply tacky glue. And one by one, with the help of your tweezer, just put them in place and have them aligned. Just a quick heads up, I'd like to thank all of you out there who have been helping me grow this channel, and there is so much more that you can find if you visit my YouTube page. Simply click subscribe if you can, and even further, take part in many of the builds I have by becoming a Patreon member. That way I'll have your name set up and you would be a partner in all my builds. Thank you so much for all your support. Magically, you see I have done all the exhaust on the right side. So let's tackle the left side. Again, it's just a simple repeat of the process of spreading the tacky glue and then just individually fitting them in place. It's annoyingly tedious, but once you're finished, you just simply paint the edges and you're good to go. A proper looking Faisla is about to appear. So let's go on to the main wing framework. Now what MAREK did is made the framework separate. Surprisingly, you won't find a classic rib structure in this. It is more the box frames you'll find with the angles provided. So here you are seeing I am building the frame out and make sure I form individual boxes. Then I cut the spar that has a correct dihedral that you can now use and glue to the edge. All this work I use super glue for it. It really makes a big difference. Goes together quickly, holds the part firmly, and you're good to go. And here we just use our tweezers to put inside the box to make sure we correctly hold it at a proper angle, looking quite good. Again, for this part, I simply use crazy glue to firmly hold it and for it to dry super quick. We apply now the central spar, and this is the one that will go within the fuselage. As you see, we put it here, and now pretty much we're going to make sure two things. We're going to make sure it is level once we set it with a basic super glue to just hold it in place. We check that both sides are done. Nice. Awesome. There we have it. Spar completed. So let's build the skin for the spar, the main wing assembly. We just make sure we cut our wing panels out. And pretty much I love building wings. I find that doing the wings for these card model is an art in itself if you get it properly, and most of it evolves around using my brush handle to give it that proper bend, fold, and then my cake decorative tool, the two circular parts. I use a large one to start, then the smaller one to add more, and then basically a steel rule with a thick steel rule to sort of add. Now what you see I'm doing here is adding additional strength to the cardstock. So once I'm gluing this in, you will see that I'm not going to cut it flush with the panel, but leave extension, and onto the extension I will glue the other panel. The trailing edge I use, again, bond sheet. I just add it to there, and then I can close it trailing edge. This is important. It gives a little more realism to the model, and that's what we need. And then here, the last part is to glue the wingtip together. Now, as you see, I'm shredding here, I'm bending it up. This is where now I will put on the inner panel. And we put it together. You see how that's coming together? Really nicely. A test fit to just make sure we're on the right track. And then we complete with the underside. This way we make sure our wing panel looks flush, it looks good, it looks nice. This is what I love. And then we use our flat beak tweezer to firmly press everything in. We gently slide it over the wing framework. Good to go. And here now I'm using the steel rule to make sure the wing is level. Well, pretty much this is going to be it for this video. Here you see I'm quickly putting the wing fairing that goes between the wing root and the fuselage and how I form it. I just want to thank each and every one of you for joining me every week. I am really grateful. And I just want to also leave you with, just walk good, take care, be gentle to yourself, have fun, have a drink of coffee, and tune in every Saturday as we drop a new video in the world of card modeling. One love, my friends.